Welcome to Skyrim. So today we're going to showcase another mod, namely the Aeolus Arcana. Okay, so this is the final version of the mod. So it adds a lot of arcane artifacts. So let's start with the spells. Okay, so this mod adds 2 new spell trees, namely the Syphon spells and the Triad spells. So let's take a look. Let's learn from the books. Okay, so let's see. Syphon. Alright, so Syphon has 4 levels. Okay, like Absorb Health, Drain Bolt, Mass Drain, and Vampiric Bolt. While the Triad spells has 5 levels, like Simple Beam, and then Bolt, Burst, Doom Blast, and then Doom Wall. So let's try them out. So they are of course under destruction. So let's try level 1 for Syphon and level 1 for Triad. So for this, it uses the concentration effect. Okay, so that's how it executes or implements the spell. Okay, but for Vampiric Bolt, for the Vampiric Bolt, it uses the same. So both level 1 are concentration spells. Alright, next let's go to level 2. So level 2 is a simple projectile. Okay, so for Vampiric Bolt, or Syphon, it's like a Vampiric Bolt, like that. Uses a red projectile to absorb. Okay, and then for the Triad spell, it uses a small projectile. Okay, so the Triad spells have 3 elements in it. Okay, thus the name. Okay, so it deals fire, frost, and shock damage. Okay, so for fire, okay, the enemies burn. Okay, it lingers for a while, and then for frost, okay, it slows them down. Okay, so movement is reduced by half, and then shock damage. For frost rather, it slows down the enemy 50% and reduces their stamina. Okay, so there, it deals half the damage for stamina, and then the shock component deals magicka damage. Okay, alright, so now let's go to level 3, which is AoE effects. So for Syphon, it launches a projectile, and when it lands, it causes an AoE effect. So all enemies in the area, okay, or all enemies hit, okay, even your followers, okay, even AoE has friendly fire. Okay, so anyone caught in the explosion would have their health absorbed by you. Okay, and for the Triad, yeah, an explosion, okay, with triple effects, like that. Okay, and then level 4 would be a greater damage projectile. There you go. And then for absorb, it's like that. Okay, so the absorb for the ultimate version, okay, which is level 4, it absorbs 40 points of health. Okay, and it does that within 3 seconds. And then for the Doom Blast, okay, it deals 40 points of fire, frost, and shock damage. And then it deals 20 points of damage to magicka and stamina. So this one, the Triad spell, okay, is affected of course by augment. Okay, so if you add, let's say, each one of these, it would augment, okay, the Triad spell cumulatively. So this one, it adds 25% fire damage. So let's see how it gets augmented. So now instead of 40, it deals 50 points. Okay, and then let's add augment frost. So it gets to 62. Okay, so from 40 it's up to 62. Even the damage to magicka and stamina are affected. Okay, and let's add the last one. Okay, and you could further augment it, okay, and it will further enhance the damage dealt by the Triad spells. Okay, it affects all levels. Okay, just as the the vanilla elemental spells. Okay, so it also, or this mod also adds staff trees for those um, spells. Okay, so for Triad spells, we have the Triad staff, of course. Okay, so it requires a Heartstone and an enchanted Triad staff. So it has 5 staff levels. Okay, oh yeah, we forgot to show Doom Wall. Okay, so Doom Wall is the 5th level of the spell. Okay, so very similar to a firewall. It's just that it has 3 elemental damage to it. So sprayed on the ground, it creates a magical wall that slows enemies and does 50 points of damage to health, magicka, and stamina. So that's the frost component to it. So whenever an enemy is damaged here, they would be slowed down 50% as well. Alright, so let's try out the staves. Alright, so for the staves, okay, we have unlocked the Dwarven, Falmer, and Forsworn staves. They're already in the game, I just completed the spell trees for them. So the Dwarven staves are distributed in the loot table of bandits. Okay, so you may encounter some of the bandits carrying some of the Dwarven staves. For Falmer, of course, they are distributed within the Falmer enemies, and Forsworn for Forsworn enemies, Forsworn staves. Okay, so let's look at the Triad staves first. So let's create the Triad Beam, and then Doom Blast, and then Doom Wall. Let's try it out. Let's see how they look. Sort by name. There, so Triad Beam, and then Triad Bolt. Okay, so Beam is like that, okay, and then Bolt for that one. Okay, and then let's try the Doom Wall, because it has a different model, and Doom Blast has more detailed details in the staff. How they look like. Alright, so it also adds the Blood Staff. Okay, the Blood Staff, okay, the staff equivalent of the Syphon spells, can't be crafted here. Okay, you have to conjure them in the Aeolus Forge. Okay, so let's take a look. Level 1 and then level 2 of the Blood Staff. So that's how it looks like. It looks Daedric. Alright, and then let's try the other two. Okay, this one has different spheres or orbs on them. So this one is level 3, the AoE, boom, and level 4. Alright, so I will conjure that later, okay, when I show you where to get the recipe. So let's look at the other staves. So this mod also adds 3 other staves for the elemental spells, like Cinderwood for fire spells. Okay, so the models used for each staff, it adds more details as the spell goes higher. Okay, and for frost spells, we have polar staves, which is Stalrim themed, and for shock spells, we have maelstrom stabs, which is ebony themed. And then I also added obsidian stabs for conjure Aeolus spells. So you can craft it here or conjure them in the Atronach Forge. Okay, so now let's look at the recipes for the staves that you can conjure in the Atronach Forge. Let's look at the blood staff first. Let's read this recipe. Okay, so you need a broom, vampire dust, and horker tusk, and ebony ingot. Okay, not ore. Okay, ebony ingot. And then the soul gem that you use will determine the level. Okay, so if you use a common soul gem, or if you add a common soul gem, it will conjure an absorb health staff. Okay, and the greater the soul gem, okay, the greater the level of the staff. Okay, so the highest would be the black soul gem, which conjures vampiric bolt blood staff. All right, and then for conjure Atronachs, okay, it's similar to the vanilla recipe. Okay, it's just that instead of a broom, you'd be using a firewood. So it's still the same. Fire salts, greater soul gem, and then a metal like either corundum ingot or ore. Okay, but instead of broom, use firewood. Okay, same goes with the other two. There. All right, so let's take a look at the staves. Let's equip them side by side. Let's have a blood staff and a triad staff. There. So that's how it looks like. Let's charge them. There. Boom. Alright, so the unenchanted staves can be purchased from Neloth, or you can craft them in a forge using simple materials. Okay, so for the dwarven staff, you need firewood and dwarven metal ingot. And then for the triad staff, you just need firewood and refined malachite. Okay, polar staff, okay, you need firewood and lesser soul gem. Okay, so the materials are very simple and you can craft it here. You can craft it at any forge. Alright, so what else? I think that covers the spells and the staves. So now let's look at the other arcane artifacts. So this mod also adds circlets. Okay, so for example, this one. Okay, so this is like they have the stats of a regular helmet. Okay, of the same tier. Let's say the scaled circlet would have the same armor rating, weight, and ingredient or materials that use when you craft a scaled helmet. Okay, so let's look at circlets here. There. Okay, so the elven circlet, it is the circlet equivalent of an elven helmet. Okay, and then glass, okay, for glass helmet, so on and so forth. So it covers all tiers, okay, from steel up to dragon. Okay, dragon plate and dragon scale. Okay, so it has this kind of ethereal animation to it. Okay. Alright, so next you would notice there are special circlets, so namely the dragon priest circlets. So I only got a Miraak. So this is the circlet version of the Miraak mask, and the acolytes like Zidal, Dukhan, and Zakrisos. Okay, so these can be enchanted. You can further enchant these circlets. Okay, but they still have their mask abilities. Okay, for example, the Miraak mask provides you like magical region. Okay, let's check. So where is Miraak? There. So the Miraak or Miraak mask provides a magica regen and reduction in shout or shout timer. Okay, so this ability would still be present in the circlet, okay, even though you enchant it. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have more circlet here, and let's try to enchant it. Right, so more it comes in light and heavy version. So let's try this one, the heavy version or heavy armor version. So let's put these enchantments to it. Enchant. Okay, so the circlet, okay, is already enchanted, but it still has the magica regen and the shout timer reduction abilities to it when you equip. Okay, let's give it a try. So this is the circlet that we enchanted. So it has destruction and restoration enchantments to it. Okay, when we wear it, okay, we should also receive more case privilege. Okay, let's check the source. There. So we got the destruction custom enchantments that we put to it, and it still retains the mask abilities. Okay, magica regen and fortify shouts. Okay, same goes with the other circlets, the other three, the acolyte circlets. Let's see. We got Azidal for, acolyte of flames for the Azidal mask. Okay, so that would give you Azidal's rage. Okay, so these acolyte circlets only work for the player. Okay, so if you equip the Miraak circlet that we just enchanted, okay, only the custom enchanted or custom enchantments could be or would be used by the NPC, provided that they are allowed to use the enchantments, because there are some enchantments that are not applicable to NPCs. Okay, but for the player character, it's pretty much fine. Okay, so you can custom enchant it, and you still have the mask ability of the circlet. Okay, and it's got its cool ethereal effect on it. So it comes in different colors, of course. Okay, so Azidal is kind of red or orange, and for Dukan, okay, it's frost, and Zakrisos, it's shock. All right. So how would you get it? Okay, so these circlets can be crafted in the forge. Okay, and the recipe, okay, would appear in the forge when you have acquired, okay, the mask. Okay, so let's check Azidal. I think I spelled it wrong. Okay, so let's drop these two. Okay, and so let's do Khan. Oh, and what's the other mask? More. Okay. Ah. Drop these. So let me just check. Alright, so this means you would be able to unlock the circlets after you have for Miraak, after you have of course slain Miraak doing the mage's quest line. Okay, and for these you would have to go to Solstheim and defeat the acolyte dragon priests to get their masks. So the moment you obtain them, okay, you will get a notification that the circlets are craftable. Okay, so of course the notification will only show up on the first time you have acquired the mask. Okay, so for Dukan, there, Acolyte of Frost, and so on and so forth. Okay. Alright, so what else? Spells, staves, and circlets. So now let's go to the cache, okay, the Arcane Cache. So the Arcane Cache contains the recipes for the Atronach Forge, Bloodstaff, okay, and other recipes, as well as one copy of each spell book and staff. So where can you find this Arcane Cache? So you will find it in Hub's Fall Cave. You know that place, right? Yeah. Alright, so let's enable map markers.
Do you
So
mind?
Hub's Fall Cave is somewhere in the north. Here. There. You know this place, right? Yeah, you know this. So you will find the cache there. So before we go to the location of the cache, let's also showcase the Dragon Priest, okay, armor set that's included in the mod. So once you have finished the Dragonborn main quest line, after you have defeated Miraak, you'd be able to craft these sets in the forge. Okay, so they are clones of the Miraak set, but they are armored. Okay, so it has heavy and light variations, and you can craft them. You can enchant them. So just like the Acolyte Circlets and Morocco Circlets, you can enchant these, okay, but it still retains the Miraak abilities. Okay, so let's wear them just to see, just so we could check the. Let's try the Dragon Priest Circlet instead of the mask. So the headpiece comes in mask and circlet forms. Alright, so I've worn it. Okay, let's turn off the lamp because it's too bright. So this is how it looks like. Alright, so
It's always
pretty much
fun
the
to go
same as the Miraak set. Okay, but when you wear them, okay, it would give you these abilities like dragon skin. Okay, so it's the same as the Miraak robes, okay, and boots and gloves. Okay, so it boosts the dragon breath, okay, and spell absorption of the robes. Okay, but for the robes, I have altered it a bit. Okay, so it gives a bit. Okay, I altered it a bit. So for the vanilla version, it has a chance to spawn a tentacle whenever you get hit. Okay, but for this one, the tentacle would spawn on the enemy. Okay, because in the vanilla, the tentacle explosion would be spawned on the player character. So here, what I did is the tentacle explosion would be spawned at the enemy, okay, and deal damage, and then either stagger them or fling them in the air. Okay, and one good thing about this is that your followers, okay, could.
Did I ever tell you what my name means in the old Mary?
Okay, so
That's
let's
because I have no idea.
Romarin equip the light set. No, let's make him.
Okay, let's swap.
Let's make him wear the heavy version. here. So, and then we'll use the circlet version. There.
I'm right behind you.
Alright, and then Lucian would be wearing the...
Take whatever you need.
Let's take your... There, and then let's give you the light version.
Alright then.
Alright, looking good. But for me, I have to wear something. Hold on. Because I'm not wearing anything. There you go. Alright, so now let's continue to the location of the Arcane Cache. So, for demonstration purposes, I'll disable the collision so we can go straight to it. So it's located deeper in the cave, but you will find it where you would find the other cache. You know what I'm talking about, right? Here.
Is someone
What was
there?
that?
So let's disable collision and let's recall the two. So let's see there, the explosion in action. So there is a 12% chance that whenever the wearer of the armor gets hit, a tentacle will spawn at the enemy. That's quite easy. So let's resurrect this one for demonstration. Resurrect. There we are. So attack the two, not me. And she died. So let's give her what's that? Set AV. Yeah, let's give her plenty of health. So she will last longer. There.
Someone there?
Not me, not me. You attack the other two. There. Explosion galore.
Stand still.
Alright, so for the enemies that can be flung, they will just be staggered. Just like the skeleton there. There you go. Alright, so while they're busy with that, okay, the cache is located here. Okay, so very near the Arcane Enchanter. I put a lamp so you can easily see it. And the cache is locked. Okay. But in this playthrough, I already discovered this area. Okay, so you can find it here. Okay, and take all the contents. So I've been here before in this playthrough, so I've already done it. So that's where you can find the cache. Alright, and I think that covers all of the features of the Aeolus Arcana mod. I hope you liked it. Okay, let's see it. It will trigger another explosion. I think she is not hitting Romarian, that's why.
There's no escape. Get it? But because it's snowing. Turn around.
Let's give her Magicka. See if she will cast the spells this time. There. She's casting spells. Boom!
Was your mother a foal?
Because I think the effect is triggered greater. Okay, I mean the chances of it occurring would be greater for spells. Because for example, for Frost, okay, NPC or the character gets hit multiple times for concentration spells. So it gives a higher chance for the effect to be triggered. So let's move her here.
You was afraid.
Not me. There, the other two. One last explosion. Alright, there we go. So that's about it for this mod showcase. Thank you very much for watching and have a great time. Bye bye!